Okay, this is the Game is on 100 here with another video today, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the judge denies the NFL stay on the lockout. This was breaking news today from the judge in her ruling this past Monday. And as I'm reading this, you can get this off of NFL.com, the head story, as it goes. And I'm reading this off of NFL.com, so let's get started. The NFL's request for a stay of U.S. District Judge Susan Richard Nelson's ruling granting the players an injunction to lift the lockout was denied Wednesday, leaving the sides in a state of limbo they've been in the previous 48 hours. The NFL's stance has been that the beginning of league year would not occur until the league had a chance to seek a stay, and the league now will try to get one with the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which also will hear the appeal of the injunction. The stance of the plaintiffs in the Brady versus National Football League case is that the league should be forced to open for business with an injunction granted and a stay denied, and that status quo approach employed by teams in regards to players' transactions could be grounds for collusion charges. By denying the league's request for a stay, Nelson League decides to continue to argue these points as NFL officials work to get the 8th Circuit to grant a motion that the St. Paul, Minnesota court would not. Nelson wrote that the NFL has not met its burden for a stay pending appeal, expedited or otherwise. She dismisses the NFL's argument that she didn't have jurisdiction and that is facing irreparable harm because of her decision to end the 45-day lockout. In short, the words of chaos, the NFL claims it has been thrust into essentially the free market system this nation otherwise willfully operates on. Is not compelled by this court's order, Nelson wrote. The judge acknowledged that her decision will be appealed to the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in St. Louis. The NFL has promised to take that step. As it clearly says, and I quote, "We are filing tonight a request with the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals for a stay of the preliminary injunction pending our appeal." NFL spokesman Greg Ariel said that Wednesday night, "We believe there are strong legal and practical reasons that support a stay and that the Court of Appeals should have an opportunity to address the important legal issues that will be presented. We have asked the Court of Appeals to consider on an expedited basis both our requests for a stay and the appeal itself. We are evaluating the district court's decision and will advise our clubs in the morning on how to proceed." The ruling means the league has no rules in place, shelved since the collective bargaining agreement ended March 11, and NFL's first work stoppage since 1987 was imposed shortly after. Nelson said that needn't be the case. The league may The league may choose to act in accordance with the express belief that the players remain a union and that they have reached a state of impasse, or the league may choose to draft a different course, implementing a version of the 2010 player system or something different altogether, she wrote. Like any defendant in any lawsuit, defendants themselves must make a decision about how to proceed and accept the consequences of their decision, whether that includes free agency or other rules drawn up as the NFL draft gets underway Thursday. As 81's guest, there was no immediate word from the league after Nelson's decision, but NFL Players Association outside counsel Jim Quinn, lead lawyer for the Brady class, addressed the possibility that the NFL might hold off on the start of its league year in an email to NFL.com. They would be in violation of court order, which often is followed by being held in contempt of court, Quinn wrote. Not a good thing for the league. The NFL argued that Nelson had no jurisdiction and that she shouldn't make a decision while complaining of bad faith negotiation against the players still pending with the National Labor Relations Board. The league also argued that it shouldn't be subject to some of the antitrust claims leveled by the players. The collective bargaining agreement deal barely expired. The judge shot all those down. The league's plea to Nelson for the stay was also based on a purported fear that immediate lifting of the lockout would result in a free agency free-for-all that could create a mess that would be difficult to undo should a new collective bargaining agreement lead to different rules. Nelson called that an incorrect premise. She insisted that her order was simply an end to the lockout, not a prohibition of the players' constraints like franchise and transitional tags, and help the league maintain competitive balance. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, during an earlier pre-draft event in New York, said he wasn't worried about the state of confusion tarnish the league's image, but stressed his desire to remove the uncertainty. It's one of the things I don't think is really for players, the clubs, and most importantly our fans, he said. Attorney for the players had ridiculed the NFL's argument that it risks either violating antitrust laws by coming up with new league rules without a CBA in place, or harming its competitive balance by allowing unrestricted free agency. If the NFL defendants are faced with a dilemma, they will put themselves in a position by repeatedly imposing rules and restrictions that violate the antitrust laws. The attorney wrote an alleged predicament of its own marketing. The solution that the players argue is to simply implement a system that does not violate antitrust laws. Nelson agreed. Again, the NFL argues will suffer irreparable harm if its own forced to choose between the irreparable harm of unrestricted free agency or the irreparable harm for more treatable damage lawsuits. Nelson wrote. But no such Shabris choice exists here. There is no injunction in place preventing the NFL from exercising under its hopes for protection of the labor laws and its right to negotiate terms and conditions of employment such as free agency. And in April 6th hearing, Nelson, while pushing both sides to resume the negotiation of a new agreement, recognized the urgency of the situation and declared that both sides had a lot at risk. Nelson orders have indicated respect of the public interest in a settlement to keep the 2011 season on track. When the league has to respond to the bond request by the players, she demanded it by the end of the day, 1 hour before the NFL's own response to the clarification request was due. Then came Nelson's denial on the stay, long after sunset and long after the courthouse normally closes. The NFL now will place its hope with the 8th Circuit, viewed as more friendly venue to businesses like the league than the federal courts in Minnesota. Goodell said the surest way for the league to operate without running awful of antitrust laws is to get back to the bargaining with the players. The two sides had 16 days of talks with the mediation earlier this year and 4 more with the federal magistrate. Little progress has been seen, although the two sides are scheduled to meet again May 16th. That's how we've been successful. That's how other leagues have been successful, and it should have continued that way, Goodell said. All of this played out while the teams are preparing for Thursday's draft. Most players again stayed away from team headquarters, working out on their own as NFL first work stoppage since 1987 plays out in court. 2 Washington Redskins players showed up at their facility, another rather fruitless visit. What we're looking for is a little clarity as far as what the rules are, so we can operate on the same page. Redskins coach Mike Shanahan says, so we'll have to wait and see, and those rules are. So, what do you guys think about this thing that they just said from the NFL? This looks like it's not. This is going to still be a long process. I'm going to be very interesting for tomorrow how the NFL is going to do tomorrow when they have the draft, and see if there's going to be any if the league will allow to open, to do free agency, sign players or whatever that needs to get done. So we'll see what happens. This is just a little news from the NFL.com. A little bit of a breaking news from Judge Nelson. which denies the league's request for a slay of the lockout ruling. So, let you guys know what you guys think about this. Like I said, I read this off of the NFL.com news story. So you go to NFL.com, it will tell you everything what I just said. So, well, let me let you guys know what you guys think about this. What should the league should do? What the players should do, and vice versa. Leave your comments, video responses, and I will see what happens when this the thing gets taken care of or not. So this is the Gaming Sound 100, and I'll talk to you all later.